Okay, we are on our way to a special place, and it's a little bumpy of a road, but we are going to go. You can see all these wonderful trees here. These are palm trees, and dates grow on these trees because this area is famous for growing dates. Okay, so there are dates that grow on palm trees. Also, you can get your lulav from these trees. You can see there are baby trees over here and fully grown adult trees over here. Baby, adult, baby, adult. And coming up here is the guard booth. We're gonna go tell the guard that we're coming in, and he'll let us go in. You can see the flags, the Israeli flag, and the flag for the nature reserve. Now it gets very bumpy over here. Okay, and we are going to stop here and then continue the drive in 1 second after we talk to security. Okay, so you could see before we go to the spot, and we have to drive a long way, you can see, but there are signs that say Bruchim Habayim. It says welcome, and it says Reshut HaTeva Vaganim. That means that it's the Israeli Park Service, okay, that runs this. Okay, and now watch this. Do you see all the desert around us? Okay, so this is a really cool desert drive that you take to get up here. There's a very thin road that you drive on to get here. You can see. And we're gonna drive all the way, and then we're gonna see some really old buildings and some mountains all the way in the distance. But look at this. Now you get up here, and you can see all of the things around us, everywhere around us, and how cool it is here. Okay, we're gonna pick up when we get there. Okay, today we are at a very special place, a place where hardly anyone ever gets to go in Eretz Yisrael. This is a place that is really important today, but was really important about 3,000 years ago. Now, if you've studied your Torah, and I know that most of you have, you know that thousands of years ago, the Jews were slaves in Egypt. And then Hashem said to Moshe, I want you to go and free the Jewish people. And when you free them, we're going to go through the desert, and we're going to go to our own land, to Eretz Yisrael. I'm going to bring you into Eretz Yisrael. And Hashem took Bnei Yisrael through a very long path, a long way, to get to Eretz Yisrael. It took them 40 years. Now, truth be told, it's only about a week's walk from Egypt to Israel. But Hashem took them for 40 years, and they walked all the way around Israel until they got to another part of Israel across from a river called the Jordan River. And when they got to the Jordan River, there was a river in front of them, a very big river, and they didn't know how to cross it. And Moshe Rabbeinu had already died, and Yoshua had taken over. And Yoshua was the one who was going to bring the people into Eretz Yisrael. And they stood at the river, and they didn't know what they were going to do. And all of a sudden, Yoshua put his hands over the river, and the river split, just like it did for Bnei Yisrael when they left Egypt. And that was how they came into Eretz Yisrael. We're at that very spot right where the river split and Bnei Yisrael came in. And we're going to get to go see that today. That's the special spot. Okay, so this spot that we're in now is a really popular spot. There are thousands of people that come here a day, but it's usually not Jewish people because Christians really like this spot for their religion. But I'm going to show you. So here, people sit. You can see there are people behind me here. You can see there are actual soldiers behind me also guarding this place to make sure it stays safe. And all through here, you can see there are places for people to sit over there, and there are places for people to sit over there, and people actually come and pray here, not usually Jews. And then you could sit over here, and here you see there are a lot of palm trees because behind me, that's where the river is. We're going to get to go there, okay? But I just wanted to show you this spot where everybody comes, and they all come here, and they all sit here, and they have a tour guide that usually explains to them. Today I'll be your tour guide about the different things that there are to see. And you can see there are a lot of, I'm going to show you over here, there are a lot of pretty flowers, because even though we're sitting in the desert and it's right now, it's so hot, it's 107 degrees, 107 degrees. It's so hot, but because there's water here in the desert, things can grow. And I'm not just talking about like cactus trees that grow in the desert. I'm going to show you some beautiful flowers behind me. Okay, and then I'm going to show you the really special things. But here, look at these flowers that they have. These beautiful white flowers that grow here because of the water. And you can you see them? Let me see if I bring them up here. You can see these white, beautiful flowers that they have. And over here are some other flowers I'll show you. And it's amazing that they can grow in the heat. You can see them here. Okay, so soon we're gonna go down to the river and see the actual river. Okay, so now we are going to walk down to the river that split when Bnei Yisrael came into Eretz Yisrael. This is the river. So here we go. Okay, we are going down. Now watch this. Now the water used to be this high, so high up. Look at this, look how far. Just 8 years ago, it was this high, but they shut the water from coming from all the way up north. Here is the river. Now it used to be much higher. It used to be high, high, high in the air, and now it's very low. You can see how low it is, and you can see how thin the water is, but here you see these beautiful trees, again, growing here and here. Now here's the craziest part. Look how you can go down and look how dirty the water is. People actually go in this water. Look how yucky it is and how gross it is. But people go into this water, and right over there is a different country. Do you see the flag there? That's not the flag of Israel. That's the flag of Jordan. And people actually can go right up here. This is right at the end of Eretz Yisrael. Or you could say that this is the beginning of Eretz Yisrael. And Jews, when they came from Mitzrayim, they stood right over here. 3 million Jews came over here. Now again, you have to picture the river was much, much bigger, but they all stood at the river and they wanted to cross. And they said to Yoshua, Yoshua, how can we cross this river? Now again, keep in mind, the river was much bigger. And Yoshua said, I don't know. And Hashem said, when the Jews needed to cross the sea, and when they left Mitzrayim, I did a nace for them. And they're going to say, if I don't do a nace now, that nace was only for Moshe and not for the Jewish people. So, and now that Moshe is not here, Hashem's not going to help the Jewish people anymore. But Hashem wanted to show that Yoshua was just as powerful as Bnei Yisrael. So, what Hashem did was, as Moshe Rabbeinu, sorry. So what Hashem did was he had Yoshua put his hands over this river, and the river split into two parts, and Bnei Yisrael crossed over here. And look, when they came over here, this is what, I mean, it wasn't built up like this. This is new the way it's built. But they came into beautiful Eretz Yisrael. And this was the beautiful land of Eretz Yisrael. So I want you to picture in your mind, it's thousands of years ago, and you're 8 years old, and you are going to cross the river to come into Eretz Yisrael for the first time. And now you could say that you were there. This is the spot that Bnei Yisrael were in. This is it. This is the very, very spot that they were in. Okay? So that's how cool it is. And imagine, would you be scared? Would you be happy? Would you be excited? What would you feel if you were about to cross into Eretz Yisrael for the very first time and you got to see these beautiful palm trees and this beautiful land, but there was this river in front of you and you didn't know if you could swim or if you could make it across, and then all of a sudden Yoshua puts his hands across the river and it splits open and you're able to cross on dry land where there wasn't even a drop of water, and you come into Eretz Yisrael for the first time. You know that you're not a slave anymore, that you're not living in somebody else's land, but this is Eretz Yisrael. This is the Jewish people's land. And one day you're going to have a Beit HaMikdash here, and one day there's going to be Korbanot, and one day, maybe, everybody watching this video, just like the Jews 3,000 years ago, maybe they'll also be able to come to Eretz Yisrael and live here just like our ancestors did so long ago. That's the end of our trip. I hope you enjoyed it a lot.